Okay, I decided to do this one. I was debating if I wanted to do it or not, but I'm currently on a little vacation. I did post that I'm going to take a little break, but by the time you're seeing this, I'm off the break. I'm not sure if this is going to be the first one that I'm going to post up or the second, I don't know, but you're going to see this. I got a lot stored up. But for now, right now that I'm doing episode 1 of Love You Teacher recap, at the time episode 2 is out and episode 3 has not come out yet. So I think it's safe to say I want to do this all while I'm on this little vacation. So anyways, this is episode 1. This person is Pop Mick. He is a teacher and he's at a event. I think it's a graduation. I'm not sure. But he's talking to the teachers and the students and the parents. And he's telling a little bit of story. Now, because I've watched the trailer, the pilot, the special episode of Love You Teacher, I kind of got a little bit idea of what Pop Mick is about, of what PERTH's character is. PERTH's character is more of a shy person. He doesn't really talk that much, but then he has only one person he completely, fully exposed his entire weakness to. And we're going to get into that. But first, we're telling stories here. The story was, I watched all of it, so I'm trying to not to put in episode 2 in this one episode. So, yeah, he experienced a lot of things throughout the entire time of teaching, and he's gonna tell you like what he wants to tell you in experience of things. So he's telling the teacher based on what he's experienced a little bit of story. Then we shift 6 months earlier. Now, this story revolves in the same story that Pop Mick is telling everyone, but it's not the story that Pop Mick is telling, but it's kind of like the story. But it's not the story Pop Mick is telling, if that makes sense. It's the start of a new class, right? And then we come in and we see student making bet, which is not right. Making bets on Pop Mick, because Pop Mick is not new. While watching, a lot of audience says, is Pop Mick new? What's going on? Yeah, Pop Mick is not new to the school. But these students knows Pop Mick so well, they're betting on if Pop Mick is going to be 15 minutes late or like 20 minutes late. They just know homeboy is going to be late. And then the boy right here in the blue and white backpack, all the audience are like, why would they name this kid Bitcoin? It's kind of like the betting scheme of everything that just resembles everything what these kids are doing. And if you don't know homegirl right here, then you are just new. Welcome. Okay, this is Pop Mick. I introduced him already. He is running late. And as you can tell by before, I told you kids are debating on how late homeboy is going to be. So his boyfriend called and asked him if he's up, which clearly he is not, but he lied that he is. The boyfriend lived with him, by the way. But anyways, the boyfriend is like, get up, you're gonna be late. Let me tell you something. As we can all see that Pop Mick is not an early bird, but he's obsessed about one person, and that's his boyfriend. Let me tell you something. His boyfriend is the one that keeps Pop Mick down to earth. Keep him calm. Keep his schedule on schedule. Now, the boyfriend called and told him that he knew he was going to be late. But he thought that maybe Pop Mick will grow out of it. Yeah, that didn't happen. Pop Mick's boyfriend is an early bird. He woke up early. He decided, okay, he's going to let his man stay in. But clearly, seeing that the school has started and he has not seen his man, he called him, getting prepared. He obviously got his clothes ready and everything because he knows his man. Everything was prepared for him. All he has to do, grab it and go. And he's extra late. He's extra late. Just so you know, this lollipop is going to be popular by the end of the drama because so far I've seen it in episode 1 and in episode 2. So clearly it's going to be popular. And this is Z. Z is new to the actual campus. He is a PE teacher and he has a problem. A problem that I will talk about either later in this one or in episode 2. Because in episode 2, he talked about that problem. So we'll see how this whole recap goes. I'm still debating if I should call it a recap, a commentary. Help me out here. Put in the comments what exactly I'm doing, because I did review once and a comment told me this is more like a recap, and I feel like I am not doing a recap. As you can see, Pop Mac is super late. He didn't even make it when the gates were even about to close. His only option is to jump the gate. I mean, a person gotta do what a person gotta do, but at the end of the day, adult should never do this. Pamek was not very responsible with his timing, and the fact that he's doing this, it is wrong. Don't do this, people. As a responsible adult, you must be there an hour before the school. But 7:30 though. I think you should reach there at least maybe 7 o'clock, 7:10, 7:15, but you shouldn't be there that late. That's bad. I wouldn't recommend you to go 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. That's literally not daylight. Are you crazy? Unless you're ready to camp out in the school and bathe in the plate. No, no. But still, damn. When Popman got into his class, he found out that his students are betting on how late he would be. Now, hear me out. He's not upset that they're betting on him. He's upset that they're betting overall. Did the children listen? No. They out here doing a food/war. And because the kids won't listen to him, he joined them. I mean, you know what they say? You can't beat them, join them, right? Everything was going chaotic until the principal comes in. Now, hear me out. This is Sammy's character. Sammy's character is a principal. Now, I cannot pronounce Sammy's character's name, so during the entire drama, I might not say her name. I might say oh principal or just Sammy's character. So bear with me. Anyway, Sammy's character is pissed because how are you a teacher and you're letting this happen? A lot of the audience are very skeptical when it comes to the outfits of Sammy, though. This one is giving a lot of frills and a lot of stuff. So while Pop Mac is in the principal office, principal is talking to Pop Mac, and then she mentioned that there's a new PE teacher. Apparently, the PE teacher said he knows Pop Mac, and Pop Mac is like, who is this one? Walks in, comes G, and G is looking super happy to see a longtime friend, while Pop Mac, not so much. Pamek and Z, they go way back. Both their mothers know each other, but the thing is, Pamek doesn't like Z. See, what I noticed about Pamek is that it's not the fact that he doesn't like Z. It's the fact that his whole life, his mother always put his entire life around Z. Z did this. Z is cleaner than him. Z passed his whole exam while he's the shadow behind Z. His mother always wants to compare, not really compare. He wants to put that, oh, you must be better. Why can't you be like Z? Why can't you do this? And I'm like, woman, not everybody is as perfect as some people think or what you want them to be. But that's it. I don't think Paul Michael hates Z. He just hates the fact that his mother is always comparing him. And he doesn't want that. Look at his life. Right now, he doesn't even know what he wants at this point. But let's not get into there. That's where we talk about it in episode 2. Because I don't want to mix everything up. Let's continue. Okay, so in episode 1, if you watched clearly, you would have seen what the problem for Z is. I'm not going to talk about it. But because he didn't mention it in episode 1, he mentioned it in episode 2. But I kind of picked up on it immediately. So Z really has a bit of a problem, which I noticed straight away in episode 1. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, Homeboy really did not look into the boy that he hated that much. But we'll get to that in episode 2. Still, it's not mentioned in episode 1, but when I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay, we have problems. It's the tiny details that you need to look out for. When it comes to Thai dramas or any Asian dramas or movies overall, you need to look for the tiniest details, whether it's message on shirts or billboard or any little color schemes going on, personality disorder. Okay, not disorder, but personality stuff. You need to look out for that. That should all give you. I almost gave you the hint already, but yeah. So Pop and the principal is very close. Close enough to the point that Pop is not ashamed to tell her what he doesn't want in life, and that's teaching. He never wanted to do teaching. Hell, at this point, Pop doesn't even know what he wants in life. I don't really blame him because his mother pushed him to so many things that he doesn't want. Again, we don't reach that point yet. We are in episode 1. All of that pushing is in episode 2. Anyways, in episode 1, we get to see a lot of things that we never thought we'll see in episode 1 of PubMed itself. Anyways, also we get to learn that Miss Principal is just a substitute principal because the original principal is out traveling. Okay. By the way, this is the principal that is supposed to be on traveling. I've never heard of a teacher travel before. I mean, a principal traveling before. I never heard of a substitute principal. I've heard of substitute teacher, but principal? This is Solar. Solar is a fun teacher. He is vibrant. He is what everyone wants in every teacher to be around. But also he is also PubMed's boyfriend and the main reason that PubMed decided that he wants to be teacher. But watching episode 1 and episode 2, it's still unsure why PubMed wanted to take teaching. I mean, if you watch episode 2, you'll guess why, but we don't know when the discussion comes in. So to be like, oh, okay, I want to be a teacher. Like, we don't reach that point, but we kind of could guess that, he's the reason. First of all, I gotta say, in all the dramas that PERTH acted in, I've never seen PERTH being such a baby in this one. I think I should talk about PERTH and Santa's whole get together story because their story is very interesting. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but yeah. Anyways, so Popmek is telling Solar about his encounter with Z and how he hates Z's literal appearance or when he's around him, and Solar's like, okay, so like, dude, all you have to do is just get used to him. He's like, I don't want to, and he's getting all babyish. But at the distance, while they're being so cutesy, the principal is watching along with Z, and Z's like, I didn't know they were that close. And the principal is like, yeah, they're boyfriends. And Z's like, oh, I didn't know that either. And the principal is like, trust me, if something were to happen to Solar, the whole thing would be chaotic. And PubMed will be in Doomsdayville. Like, everything will get crazy. In translation, PubMed loves Solar so much that he would do anything. Let's talk about how we got here and why we're getting a massage on the foot. See, Solar found out that PubMed sprained his ankle. How he sprained his ankle? Remember, he was late for school and he had to jump the gate. Now, when PubMed jumped the gate, he did not stick the landing. I repeat, he did not stick the landing. He ended up sprained his ankle, and now we are here. Homeboy is protecting or maybe taking care of his man, because this point, remember, you are not young again. You are 30 and flirty. Now, while Solar is trying to massage his man's foot, taking care of his man, PubMed decided that he wants to get a little bit emotional and asking Solar why does he care about him so much. He feels like he's just a burden. He's the one that pulling Solar down because, remember, looking back at his life in the entire thing, he's not much of this conversation is in episode 2 because you'll mostly see that negativity side on episode 2, but we're not in episode 2, we're in episode 1. Let's continue. Now, everything was going great, cute. Solar was massaging his man until Solar got serious and said, because of the move that you did, jumping fence and doing all the things that you shouldn't be doing, he's getting punishment. And the punishment is Solar handcuffing PubMed. And at this point, we realize that, their relationship when it comes to sex is a lot different. Because tell me why their whole smexing is about role-playing. And I'm like, well, damn. That would explain why in the pilot, when they were was jumping up and down on the bed, the neighbors are knocking her like, keep your kinky shit out. Like, I didn't know they were that kinky, but to each his own. I'm curious to know how this whole relationship come to the point that, wow, we're in a relationship, to the point that they said to themselves, let's make our little moment be fun and spontaneous and everything, to the point where we're role playing. Like, how did we come to the discussion that now that the role play has become a uniform for Boom Shiki Bang Bang? Like, do you see the handcuff here? How? What store did we go to say, oh, let's buy this because our kinkiness is too kinky, we need something? Like, how? You think you look at this boy, hyper solar boy, and he's dressing cute and not knowing that homeboy got a kink inside his brain. Like, what the heck? What? Now, if you're watching this drama itself and you've seen episode 1, do you realize both of their phones are set for just them? Pop Mac has his phone set for both alarms, that is man's voice is the one that's waking him up. And knowing that he's late is always saying, you're late, you're late, you're late. And his entire face is on his screen. His own page and his wallpaper, everything is his man's face. So it's no different for Solar. Solar's ring alarm is wake up baby in his man's voice, and his big wallpaper is his man. I'm like, these two are built for each other at this point. They're built for each other. They will never cheat on each other. This is my friend. GMMTV, you thought you were slick, kinda. Because the PS might stand for PubMec and Solar, but we all know, the fandoms know it's Perth and Santa. Moving on. Now, everything was going great. PubMec was doing his duty, wanted to be that responsible boyfriend, preparing his boyfriend's clothes, because it was 5 o'clock. He's preparing Solar's clothes, breakfast, the stuff that he's gonna prepare for class, and even the uniform lollipop. Everything was going great until he sat down. I was like, dude, don't sit down, you're gonna fall asleep. Oh boy, did fall asleep. Next thing you know, it's earlier, and turns out Solar left with a big note saying that it's cute the way you did it, but next time use a blanket. I'm like, sir, you did all that just to go back to sleep. Just as he woke up, he got a call from his man's phone, but it wasn't his man. It was an emergency contact number it was the hospital. Turns out Solar got into an accident. Now, honestly, I wasn't expecting the accident to happen in episode 1, but it happened. And surely, I think, like, dude, didn't the principal just said if something were to happen to Solar, shit goes down? So while on the phone in the hospital, the nurse is telling the information what happened to Solar. So Solar was crossing the pedestrian to go to the school, but some crazy driver drove fast and hit Solar. Now, in this whole entire thing, it is not said what happened to the driver, but I do hope they sue the driver, or at least charge him or something. Because how you hit and then that's it. Like, the story did not tell us what happened to the driver. Now, hear me out. Pop Mac was sad, crying, telling how he feels guilty what happened to his man. Now, hear me out. Pop Mac thinks his man is dead, but we who watch the pilot and the trailer knows what really happened, right? And I'm looking at the nurse, and I'm like, bitch, if you don't speak up fast and loud, let this boy realize that his man is okay, because we not about to do this right now. After finding out his man is awake and okay and alive, we get to see Solar. Now, when I see Solar look into this tray, we can all agree that it's impossible to see a reflection in this one. But for some reason, homeboy can see himself. Okay, moving on. Okay, so when Pop Mac saw his man, of course, the first thing he does is hug him, right? But while inspecting his man, Solar clearly shows discomfort, and he can tell, as you can tell at his face, he doesn't look like he know who Pop Mac is. But here's the crazy part. Pop Mac, looking at him, he can sense that something is wrong with his partner, looks at the doctor and is like, what's wrong with my boyfriend? The doctor said even though he got hit by the car, he got hit in the head, but they run scans, they did a lot of exam, and everything seems normal. Yet, I'm not seeing the part where you asked, Solar, do you know who you are, where you are, what year is it, your own name? Can you tell us that? They didn't do anything. Anything. But for some reason, they say he's okay, but PubMed sees that something is wrong with his man. This part is so funny. So, because PubMed says that his partner doesn't look all that great, so the doctor is like, okay, maybe if he just stays another 24 hours, they can run some more tests on him and maybe give him an IV thingy. But because a man next to them screamed because he got injected by an injection, you can clearly see that Solar was not happy. So he's like, nope, I want to go home. And so the doctor decided to discharge him, considering, the actual patient says he wants to go home. And then the doctor already said there was nothing wrong with him. So he was free to go. But, PubMed is still kind of skeptical. But, since his man says he wants to go, let's just go home. Okay, once they got home, things got really crazy because Solar used the opportunity to win. PubMed was a little bit distracted trying to get some ice water. That's when PubMed ready to attack. Luckily, Solar ready to attack. Luckily, PubMed was on his A game. And while they're in this scuffle, PubMed is calling Solar like, dude, are you crazy? While Solar is like, my name is not Solar, Uncle Kidnapper. And I'm like, Uncle Kidnapper. And it turns out Solar thinks PubMed is a kidnapper, and an older kidnapper at that. Clearly, I don't know. But while they're like that, I'm like, what's happening? Solar is like, and why am I in this body? And I'm, body? What body? Why am I in this older body? And I'm like, are we talking about spirited away or something? What you talking about? PubMed got a bit frustrated because the whole time Solar keeps telling him his name is not Solar. So PubMed is like, if you're not Solar, then who are you? So Solar looked at PubMed and said, my name is Sun. So for the whole course of this moment, we're gonna call homeboy Sun. Let's get into it. So Sun managed to escape from PubMed by kicking him in the you-know-what, and he got to the elevator. He's a smart son. But the thing about this elevator is, and it's a good, this apartment that they got to live in, they picked wise. Because you can't use the elevator unless you have a key card. And that's only for people who live in the building. But Sun doesn't realize that. After Sun found out that he couldn't use the elevator to escape from PubMed and PubMed caught up to him, he ran away again and ran to this woman. He was trying to ask her to help her, but the way he was doing it scared her, and she pepper sprayed him. When PubMed showed up, the woman is like, dude, if you want to do your little role play shit, don't put me in it. Apparently everyone knows about their role playing relationship, which to her, she thinks it's a role play, but it's not really role play. But she's not gonna stick around to find out what shit they're gonna be doing. Honestly, damn. Now, to prevent Sun from even escaping again, this is what PubMed is resort to. I don't know about this part. This part is very skeptical, but it has to be done. Now, after calming down and making sure that Sun's eyes are not damaged by that pepper spray, PubMed gave Solar his phone to show a picture of him and Solar back in university days to show that he's not a bad guy and they know each other. Well, for PubMed and Solar, not for Sun. Sun, on the other hand, does not believe it because he doesn't even know him. He doesn't even know the body that he's in. And when PubMed asked Solar, how old do you think you are? Sun, how old do you think you are? Sun looked at PubMed and said, I'm 7 years old. I'm like, come again? 7 years old. When he said he was 7, I was like, how old is Solar, by the way? But that's besides the point. During the whole entire thing, and you see what's happening right now, and we're in this, problem, you think PubMed was like, oh, shoot, let me inform his mother of what the shit is going on. Yeah, none of that crosses anybody's mind. Anybody. Anyways, these two show up. Now, at first, it was just the principal showing her face. And so the principal asked PubMed how Solar is. Because remember, the accident happened in front of the school. So, of course, the teachers and the principal would know. So PubMed was about to tell woman, the principal, about Solar until G shows up. Clearly, he doesn't want to talk about anything when G's around because he doesn't like G. So, of course, he ended up saying, you know what? My man is okay. He's just sleeping right now. And then lock them out. I'm like, dude, okay. Now, the reason PubMed closed the door on Z and the principal is because while he was talking to them, there was a lot of noise going on in the background, and of course, it has everything to do with Sun. So when he closed the door on the principal and Z went to check on where the problem is happening. Problem number one. I'm not telling you. I'm just confused as much as PubMed, but I'm not gonna lie you. Sun out here really putting this kidnapper in his confused state. At this point, he's like, you know that little boy that was in that show, and he will call the whole woman Mr. Wilson, and the homeless kidnapper kidnapped him, and the shit that he put that kidnapper into. It could be like this, but I'm not sure if Sun could handle that situation. Problem number two. Sun was jumping on the bed. You see that smirk? That's a devil's smirk right there. Problem number three, marking on the walls. See, Sun is a 7-year-old who knows what not to do. Because we all know when you live in an apartment, the one thing you don't want is to have kids marking on the walls. Remember, it's not a house, it's an apartment. And I've never seen anyone live in an apartment full time to the point where, it's always like you rent an apartment to the point where you have enough money, then you move out to live in a house. I've never seen anyone live in an apartment for so long that it's beginning to become their home. Not saying it's impossible, it's just that, apartment is a temporary stay. So marking on the walls is a no-no. And if you can't clean that up, you have to pay for that damage. Now, PubMed sees what Sun is doing and yelled at Sun. Sun started crying and revealed the reason he's doing this. Sun said, earlier, PubMed said if he misbehaves, he will kick him out of the house, which is exactly what he wanted to do to get rid of the whole so-called quote-unquote kidnapper. But also, he then mentioned that he wants to see his mother. Now, at this point, you would think PubMed would say, oh shit, let me just call his mother to reassure that he's with someone safe. He did none of that. PubMed then said, okay, I'm sorry, but I am going to call your mother soon. I'm like, sir, use your brain, sir. Use your brain. This is not even a game. And if it is a game, why would he do all these things? I ain't gonna lie you, I know this is a serious situation, but Sun, you're too cute. Do you see how Sun out here hiding his head under a blanket? It's like a human ostrich, because ostrich only hides their head and leave their body exposed. It's too cute. Anyways, PubMed managed to calm Sun down by giving the uniform lollipop and asking him what reading book he wants to read, because he agreed that he wants to hear a reading book, right? Sun chose an English book, and I thought, ooh, we're going to hear PERTH see some English. No, it's not English. Purely Thai. It's funny and crazy because the start of the episode, we see PubMed on stage telling a story to everyone, and we went to to school, right, and how teaching and stuff. But then PubMed is telling Sun a story, and we're skipped straight to university. I honestly love how they did this because back then, PubMed was wearing glasses, and Solar here was a lot longer. It reminds me of perfect 10-liners. After putting Sun to sleep, PubMed called Solar's mother and told her what happened. Now, he only told her about the accident. He never told her about the whole 7-year-old son or anything. He just tells her. And while she's panicking, she also, I love this woman, she also said, "Are you okay? Because I know you're the one that's taking care of everything. I want to know if you're okay." Now, I kid you not, Pop made the longest pause. And then he said, "Oh, I'm okay." And I'm like, I need to know what Pop been through. Because ain't no way. Because I know this boy been through a lot other than just this. Because that was the longest pause I've ever heard. I mean, the longest pause I've ever seen. But still, I feel like Pop have some issues that we don't know about, whether it's from the mother or just him overall. Because why do I feel like Solar's mother knows a bit more than his own mother? But that's episode 2. This is episode 1. Moving on. Now, before she get off the phone, Solar's mother said that whenever there's something is bothering her, because she knows, even though Pop said he's okay, he's not okay. She said that if there's something wrong with her, or like if something's bothering her, there's only one thing that'll always clear her mind. And she says cleaning. Cleaning, to me, cleaning doesn't really help, but it does distract the brain from literally thinking too much. So yeah, cleaning does kind of help. I knew she was going to say cleaning before she actually said cleaning. So here is Pop cleaning the wall that Son drew. I know that was magic rough eraser. What you call it? The bald head guy. Quicker. I don't even know what the name is, but that Mr. Clean. Yeah, Mr. Clean stuff. But because it's not a sponsored stuff, they're not, GMMTV is not going to show that. But yeah, it's a Mr. Clean. He's not even rubbing it too hard to let that thing come out. He's just barely touching it. And I'm like, sir, let the magic work. Now, while Pop is cleaning, he's remembering the day he met Solar. To be honest, not everyone can be distracted while cleaning. And Pop is pure something because he's multitasking at this point. But the way they met, I ain't gonna lie, it's a cute way. As you can see, the lollipop is a uniform for everything. Look at that. At the end of the day, if nobody sells these lollipops, something is wrong. Both Son and Pop are having a staring contest to see whoever wins, they will clean the house. So why are we talking about cleaning the house? Because back then, when they met each other in the dorm, Solar decided to say, no, you see that Pop is having a bit of a stress. And he said his mother said that whenever someone is stressed, the best way to clear the mind is to clean. So while Solar was sweeping, Pop doesn't want to be a burden and decided that he's going to take the mop, the wet mop. And then Solar is like, why are you going to sweep when I'm not finished? Like, why are you going to mop the room when I'm not finished sweeping? This is where the debating kicking. Pop says that it's best to mop first before sweep. We all agree that that's bullshit, right? Then Solar's like, no, you sweep first. Pop like, my mother taught me to mop first before sweep. I'm like, where is your mother from? Everybody knows in generation that you sweep first before you mop. So Solar's like, okay, let's get a competition. Whoever wins gets to do whatever the winner says. Whoever wins tells the loser what to do. Duh. My brain wasn't here. Pop even sees the love letter that Solar was writing. So at the time, Solar gave his students an activity to write a love letter to whoever they love and give it to them on a special day. Now, the time when Solar was writing that love letter, Pop wanted to see it, but Solar was being shy and he's like, no, you're not ready to see it yet. When the time comes, you'll see it. At this point, we don't have Solar right now, we have Son. So, Pop decided that he wants to read what his partner wrote about him. In the love letter, Solar basically wrote about the first time they met in the university dorms and how he noticed how Pop was a little bit worried. And in it, he said whatever he was worried about back then, he wants to let Pop know that Solar will always be with him forever. And in the end, it says, I love you. Pomek then got inside the bedroom, lie beside this person, and said that he loves him too. Because even though physically, right now, in body, the person that is in front of Pomek is the man that he loves, who is Solar, his man, his partner, his boyfriend, everything. But mentally, brain-wise, that is not who is here. It's Sun. Honestly, this drama was epic. I'm trying to wonder if Pubmek sleeps bad because we remember in the first part of the episode when he was late and he got a call, he was sleeping on this side. So why did you put Sun on this side if you know this was your side? And now look at it this morning. Like you rolled over on this side. And also he's taking a little bit too long to realize that Sun is not in the room. Now, after Pamek realized that Sun is not in the room, he panics and he left the entire, of course, he left the room, went downstairs, talked to the security if he's seen him. But the thing is, this security just got to check in, which means he has to ask this security to check with the previous security that was there to see if he saw Sun. While they're trying to solve that, here comes Solar in the background. Now, you notice I said Solar, right? Clock it. You'll get it. Hold up. Now, the reason I said Solar is because when Solar saw Pubmek, he called him out by his name. He didn't call him by Hunko. And I'm not going to lie, episode 1 got me to realize what's happening here and how we got Sun and Sun and then switched to Solar. But in episode 2, I'll tell you why. But I'm not going to lie, the pilot did not give me any of that. The pilot got me confused because the pilot was like, Podmek was like, he's not sure who he's going to encounter. He's not going to sure if he's encountering the little one or the big one. And I'm like, huh? But episode one, it was like a dead giveaway for me. So I knew what to expect. So, yeah. Then the drama ends off with Pomek still on stage talking to everyone and telling them that he's ending the story. But the story, even though the story has ended, the story is just one chapter ending. And then there's a continuation to the story and that he hoped more people would stay tuned to see how it all really ends. But here's a spoiler for episode 2. See, once you watch episode 2, you're going to want to come back to episode 1 because in this part, you're going to realize you've missed out a lot of clues that you should have got in episode 1 before getting in episode 2. So, yeah.